is only begun. He comes to us many times when we've come to our end, and that's when he begins to work. Look at verse number 49. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit and cried out. How did he come unto them? Walking on the sea, exactly, which was the very thing that they were afraid of. He used the very thing they feared to draw close to them. And I think that's interesting, because how often do we fear something and God uses it to draw us close to it? We fear the death of a loved one. We fear the loss of a job. We fear an illness or some other life crisis. And God uses the very things that cause us to fear to draw us near to him. The fellowship of his suffering is what the Bible calls that. When we go through suffering, we draw close to him. He uses those sorrows to draw us near him. As we endure sorrows, we become more like him who is called the man of sorrows. As we go through financial loss, we become more like him who said, the foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. When we go through conflicts with others, we draw near to him who endured the contradiction of sinners against himself. He uses the very things we fear to draw close to us, to draw us close to him. And when he appeared, they didn't recognize him. What did they think that he was in verse 49? A spirit, meaning a ghost. That's right. And why didn't they recognize him? Because they weren't really looking for him. They saw what they expected to see. What were they expecting to see? They were expecting, with all these waves roiling around them and them at the end of their strength, they were expecting to see death. They were expecting to see terror. And so what they saw was death and terror, a ghost coming toward them. They saw what they expected. Fear is the opposite of faith. A heart full of fear is not full of faith. It takes eyes of faith to see God in the storm. But what do you think eyes of fear will always see? Yeah, the worst things imaginable. How many times do we fail to see the hand of God at work in the trials of our life? Look at verse 50. For they all saw him and were troubled, and immediately he talked with them and saith unto them, It is I. Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. And you know that's what he always says to us in the midst of our storms. Be of good cheer. I'm here. Don't be afraid. Fear not. You know, somebody said that there are 365 fear nots in the Bible. One for every day of the year.